Let's start with a really big question, one you might have even asked yourself. What is my religion? I don't just mean the label you might use. I mean, what does it really mean deep down? We're going to dive into that because our source material today asks that exact same question and suggests the answer is hiding somewhere we'd never think to look.
You know, it's a strange thing. We live in a time where people are desperately searching for meaning, for what's called dharma. But at the same time, so much conflict happens in its name. We dig through old books looking for answers, but the divisions just seem to get wider. So the source asks this really interesting question: what if we're looking in the wrong place altogether?
And right here, this is where our whole investigation kicks off. Forget about the dusty libraries and the big academic debates for a second. What if the actual key to understanding Dharma, the thing that could help resolve all this conflict, isn't in a book at all? What if it's in the soil of a simple, traditional farming village? It's a pretty wild idea, right? Let's check it out.
So what is this clue? What's this big secret hidden in a village? The source gives it a name, the Nandi philosophy or Nandi Tattva. And trust me, this isn't just some abstract idea, it's a whole way of life that might just change how you see, well, everything.
The Nandi philosophy basically flips the script on what we think of as Dharma. It says that a healthy society, a truly spiritual society, isn't some pie-in-the-sky concept. It's grounded. I mean, literally grounded in the earth, in our relationship with nature. And at the very heart of it is traditional farming, powered by the ox, or Nandi. It's all about balance. And this isn't some new age thing. Think about it. You know that statue of the Nandi bull that you always see in Shiva temples, sitting right in front of the linga? Well, according to the source, that's not just a decoration. It's a powerful symbol of this exact philosophy, a constant, silent reminder of that sacred connection between our lives, the soil, and something bigger than ourselves.
All right, so that's the theory. It's a pretty bold claim, right? But how do you actually test it? Well, the source proposes this brilliant, real-world experiment. Just compare two different kinds of villages. Let's see how this whole thing plays out on the ground. So here's the setup. It's pretty straightforward. In one corner, we have a village that still practices what's called Nandi Krishi. That's the traditional farming with oxen. And in the other corner, a village that's gone all in on modern mechanized farming. The idea is that by putting them side by side, we can see the real-world ripple effects of this Nandi philosophy. Okay, first up, let's look at the very foundation of everything, the environment. In the Nandi Krishi village, the soil is described as being alive, full of energy. Why? Because the gentle plowing from oxen doesn't destroy it. The land literally acts like a giant sponge, soaking up rainwater, which leads to cleaner streams and wells. And what do you get from healthy soil and clean water? Yep, more nutritious food. It all starts from the ground up.
And of course, when you have that healthy foundation, you get this explosion of life. Farmers aren't just planting one single crop over and over. They practice multi-cropping, which is way more resilient. The land itself is just teeming with life. More insects, more birds, and more native animals like cows and goats, which are all part of this incredible interconnected system.
Okay, and this is where it all clicks into place. The source makes a powerful argument that this ecological health directly creates social health. In these villages, the joint family system is still going strong. The culture feels more alive, festivals have real meaning, and problems like addiction are much lower. And, this is huge, traditional jobs, things like being a potter or a blacksmith, are still thriving because they're a necessary part of this self-sustaining world.
And get this, the source argues this social harmony isn't just a happy accident, it's the bedrock of a stable society. It's considered so fundamental, in fact, that the ancient Nandi seal from the Indus Valley civilization was placed on the very first page of the Constitution of India as a symbol of this very idea. Pretty amazing.
All right, so we've seen what's happening on the ground. We've got healthier soil, we've got stronger families, but how does this all circle back to our original question about Dharma and religion? Well, this next part is where the source connects all the dots.
The source lays it out like a chain reaction, a series of dominoes falling one after the other. It starts with preserving Nandi Krishi. That act purifies the 5 elements: earth, water, air, fire, and space. When that happens, rural livelihoods can thrive. And here it is, the crucial link. That stable, self-sufficient society is the perfect environment for the guru-shishya or teacher-student tradition to survive. And it's through that tradition that Dharma is protected and passed down.
I mean, it really all boils down to this single, powerful idea from the text. You can't have the spiritual without the physical.
The traditions, the philosophy, the very heart of Dharma, they aren't just floating in thin air. They completely depend on the health of the land and the community, all symbolized by that Nandi lineage.
So what does this all mean for us, right now? Well, it brings us to a huge crossroads. The source presents this not just as a choice about how to farm, but as a fundamental decision about the entire direction of our society. The source lays out two very different paths, two completely opposite philosophies for living. On one side, you've got Tela Tattva, the oil philosophy. That's our modern, industrial, fossil fuel-powered world. And the result? It drains nature and, the source claims, ultimately shortens our lives. And on the other side, you have the Nandi Tattva we've been talking about. The result? It enriches nature and, in doing so, extends and improves human life.
Now, it's really important to get this straight. This isn't about throwing away progress and going back in time. Not at all. The source is very clear that the goal is to modernize this philosophy, not abandon it. Think about developing new, super-efficient technologies powered by oxen. Imagine generating electricity from their labor or creating clean biogas from their dung. The big picture is to use this ancient wisdom to build modern, sustainable, self-reliant villages.
Which brings us right back where we started, but with a whole new perspective. After looking at this entire argument, from the dirt on the ground all the way up to the soul, we have to ask ourselves again, what is the real foundation of a healthy, flourishing culture? Is it really in our texts and our arguments? Or is it somewhere, well, a lot more down to earth?
And the source doesn't just hand you the answer on a silver platter. Instead, it leaves us with one powerful word, one command. Think. Just think about it. Think about the connection between how we treat the land and the deepest values we say we hold. It's a thought that just might stick with you for a while.
ನಂದಿ ಎನ್ನುವ ಪೂಜ್ಯ ದೇವತೆ ನಿನ್ನ ನೆಲೆ ಶಿವಾಲಯ